So when you imagine yourself as an alder, what do you, and this is not the question I'm leading up to, what do you think are the phone calls that you get the most of? Well, from Bay Creek, it's speeding. Can't you slow the drivers down? So we have a long-standing concern in our neighborhood. We have two major, well, we have multiple, but we have two that really a lot of residents live on, Lakeside and Olin. So what are your thoughts about how you might address speeding in our neighborhood?
Well, I called Mark Winter at Traffic Engineering and asked him what the options were. So Mark Winter at Traffic Engineering said, if you want to have traffic calming devices, which are these islands, then you have to get a petition with 50% of the people saying that they want it, and then the city does a study that counts the number of crossings, not just cars, but pedestrians and bikes and so on. And
50% of what, Sue?
50% of the residents, and I don't know how big an area, but like a guy on Gilson Street between Olin and Lakeside was complaining about the traffic there. So like, I think the people on that long block, if half of them sign a petition saying we want some kind of traffic calming, that sort of initiates the process. And then they study it to see whether it's practical, and I think that there's a waiting time for that too. I asked about stop sign. He said, well, if you're going to have a stop sign, it would be best at Hickory and not at Gilson, although Gilson maybe has more traffic, but since it doesn't meet up. I mean, on Hickory, it's a four-way. But the problem there is that if they put a stop sign in where there isn't enough cross traffic, then people tend to disregard it. They have rolling stops, and that's a bad thing. He said, we're like training drivers to flout the law. So they also have this whole study process for what they go through when that's requested. And I guess an alder can ask for this study to be done. He wasn't totally sure about that. Also, I asked my friend Melissa Huggins, and she pointed out that on Monroe Street, one of the effective things that has reduced the speed of traffic there is having these crossing places with flags. So there is a little island there, which mostly just holds a yield sign, but also just having people cross the street all the time sort of gets people clued in, that this is going to happen and that you need to slow down here.
Thank you. TJ, we'll just go on.
First off, in the process, my block went through the process to get speed bumps put on it like about 3-4 years ago. A neighbor initiated it, and there's still. I'm on Gilson, and Gilson is still a problem with traffic and with speeding, but it was relatively effective. As far as Olin goes, I live right around the corner from Olin, cross it very often. I think that the traffic calming with the islands and the narrowing of the lanes that went through when the bridge was taken out and the pool was put in, I think there's actually been relatively effective and perhaps could be extended a little bit further. I think Olin is a major thoroughfare and will remain one. Lakeside's a different story. Lakeside is more residential than Olin, and Lakeside also has a school on it, so there's the dangers around that. And I would definitely support traffic calming, perhaps through narrowing islands. I don't think speed bumps are appropriate for Lakeside, but Lakeside is problematic. Olin, I think it's pretty good these days. And you can disagree with me, but that's my impression.